Welcome to How to Have a Calm Family Life with Your High Energy Kids. I am super excited to have you here today. First, a little about myself. I am Michelle, the founder of the Virtual Pediatric OT. I have 25 years of experience working with thousands of families. I help moms understand the needs of their high energy kids, build a plan to get out of the chaos so that you can enjoy your family again. I am determined to make a difference in families' lives to help you thrive, not just survive. Today I'm going to show you the steps to get out of the chaos, have a calm family life, enjoy your kids, and being a mom. This training is for you if you have chaos in your household, cross your fingers every time you go somewhere, want to love spending time with your family, want to have a calmer household, if you repeat yourself over and over, or you just want to love being a mom. This training is not for you if you don't want to make any changes, if you're happy living in chaos, or you like yelling and repeating yourself. This training is for you if you are tired of the overwhelming feeling you get when taking your high energy kids out running errands, or tired of the feeling you will be judged for how your high energy kids will act in public. Your household is in constant chaos and you feel like you can never get ahead and just be at peace. Today I will show you how to create calm in your household, why you need a consistent schedule, and what is a sensory diet and why you need one. My goal is to introduce you to the concepts I use professionally and with my own kids. Concepts I believe benefit all kids, especially those with high energy levels. I don't believe they're perfect parents. I believe in doing the best we can with the tools we have every day and adjusting to new challenges as they arise. When your household is in chaos and you are totally overwhelmed, getting under control can feel daunting, but the system is simple. Before we dive into the training, I want to show you that I know what I'm talking about, so you know this is worth your time. I am an occupational therapist with 25 years of experience working exclusively with children. Occupational therapists work with children and families to build their best lives. Occupations are anything one does to occupy their time. We work like detectives, figuring out what is really going on. That is why we are great at working with families to help figure out what is going wrong and how you can improve your situation. We are not therapists in the traditional sense. I'm not going to ask you to dive deep into the why of your parenting style. We are action takers, always with a practical suggestion to move the needle forward toward you having the best family life you imagined. So I grew up in the New York City suburbs and went to Binghamton University, got a psych degree, and then went on to Tufts University for my OT degree. I always worked only with children. I worked at a day camp in New York for years and a camp for children with learning disabilities. I did a fieldwork in adult rehab because that was required, but it was totally not for me. Then I did my fieldwork on a child psych unit in Massachusetts. Believe me when I tell you I saw all the behaviors there and nothing will surprise me. I've worked with thousands of families and children, walking them through not only their child's development, but also creating the family life they dreamed of. We worked on sleep and feeding issues, and I specialize in working with children with sensory needs, autism, and ADHD. I was a multidisciplinary practice owner, and I owned a child care franchise, which gives me a whole other perspective. I've coached therapists and caregivers on all aspects of child development. I've also worked in many families' homes as a home health therapist. And I've been working online with the families since 2015. I love working with families. I love explaining things to parents. I love brainstorming for ideas. I also have my own 3 high energy kids with ADHD, sensory processing needs, and adoption and attachment issues. They are in high school and college now, and I know the struggles are real. And I came out with my sanity mostly intact. It was overwhelming raising 3 high-energy, sensory-seeking kids. Sometimes I wished I could wave a magic wand and everyone would be normal. I wanted kids who listened, didn't take 10 hours to get ready for bed, weren't bouncing off the walls in the store. Kids I could leave with a sitter and not worry. Kids I could take to a non-fenced-in playground and not be paranoid about them running off. Over time, our world was getting smaller and smaller. But then I realized normal is a setting on the washing machine. That is one of my favorite quotes. It's hanging on my laundry room door. But it's not possible to be normal. Everything changed when I realized I need to embrace my kids' needs while also shaping and guiding them. Using my OT skills, I have built programs and ideas that work in real family life. I am known for simplicity. Many programs are overwhelming, have too much information, and too many things for you to do. I'm not here to overwhelm you more. You can learn to understand and take control to build a happy, healthy household and family life. I love kids. They're funny when they don't even know they're being funny. Their innocence is refreshing. But sometimes they just feel overwhelmed. And I feel all kids are inherently good. They are just seeking something. Sometimes that's attention. Sometimes they are in sensory overload. We need to be the detectives and figure it out. Some adults make the mistake of treating kids like little adults. But we need to remember they are kids. Kids with big emotions, but not the experience to handle them. Your kids are amazing. We just need to put it all together to build the life you love. Some of my favorite kids are the ones who aren't always the best behaved, so I'm serious when I say that. They have big personalities. It is great that you are here because that means you're not complacent. You are here and learning, and not every parent can say that. Here is what some of my OT clients have said after working with me. I am honored to recommend Michelle to work with other families. She worked with all three of my children for several years. She is very understanding of families' needs, treats each child as an individual, and has an extensive knowledge on how to treat them. She is an expert in the field and helped my boys so much. Later, when I was looking for a new OT several years later, I reached out as I immediately hoped she was available to work with our family again. This is from a mom of premature triplets, and I just loved working with this family. And I love that the mom still sends me recent pictures of them growing and thriving. Here's another family I worked with. Michelle is a wonderful therapist. I could see from day one working with my child the passion she has for helping children and their families overcome obstacles. She is a nurturing, friendly personality and goes out of her way to help her families find the tools needed for enrichment and growth. Michelle is an excellent educator, instilling therapies, skills, and ideas to maintain progress. She has good judgment and shows great determination whenever a difficult task is put in front of her. I never saw Michelle stressed out or frustrated. Michelle is a strong-minded, energetic, capable individual who will be an amazing coach. And I was really honored to get this recommendation from this family. This family was amazing at implementing suggestions, and I loved watching all of them grow. So on to the training, how to have a calm family life with your high energy kids. What did you dream your family would be like someday? Think back to when you were a kid. Did you want a big family or only one child? What did you think it would be like? Would you travel and go on vacation? Play games and have fun? Why is your household not what you wanted? When I was young, I envisioned having 4 kids, making dinner every night, having a clean and tidy home, great reports from the teachers at school. Pretty much Leave It to Beaver. I almost had it. We lived in a small town in Michigan, the perfect neighborhood, but one thing was missing. I could not take my eye off my kids for a second. Like the time my oldest and her friend decided to pick the hot peppers from the garden and rub their eyes. Oh boy, was that a lesson. Or when her friend decided to be a dog and they tied a jump rope around her neck and then she went to pull her down the slide. I remember just coming, running, and screaming. Thank goodness I was outside watching. The stories could go on and on. Maybe you were the new mom who dreamed of an amazing family. You imagined this perfect life. The kids would listen, they would play by themselves, they would get along with their siblings. You would make these amazing healthy dinners while your kids play in the backyard with the neighbors. And you would have big parties where you would actually be able to socialize with the other adults. I understand how it feels to have to watch your children like a hawk, how it feels to worry that someone will have a meltdown or tantrum when you need to quickly run into the store after work. Nobody should have to experience that feeling. What is your current reality and why are you here today? Let's talk about what are high energy kids. In general, it means extra energy. All kids have a lot of energy, but our kids seem to have so much more. This can mean they are bouncing off the walls, always jumping and touching things. You may feel like you are always saying no or don't touch that, or maybe your house always looks like a bomb went off. Do you apologize for your kids' energy levels or behavior? Let's stop that and harvest their energy for good. One of my friends told me she just got rid of all the toys that the kids didn't play with them anyway and they just threw them. There are definitely better solutions than that. The high energy child needs interaction and stimulation from others. These children can't be put in front of a TV or given a book to read when you do things around the house. They will get into things, break things, or just be bored. Our children may have a hard time sitting, entertaining themselves, have a short attention span. They might be highly emotional, maybe inflexible, opinionated, or stubborn. When it comes to our high energy kids, it helps to reframe these traits that drive us crazy, and they also get our kids into trouble. They can also be very positive traits later in life. Their exuberance, independence, determination, outspokenness, passion, conviction, perseverance, and even their energy levels might be really good on a future job. How do we reel in some of that energy while not breaking their spirit? Instead of thinking of these traits as negatives, doing this will also help forge lifelong bonds and relationships with you and your kids. How we react to these traits will shape their identity. Let's stop talking about your children's weaknesses or personality traits that trigger you in front of your child. Our high energy kids are exhausting. They can outlast us and outscream us. These are my high energy too when they were younger. Look at their mischievous grins. The oldest now works as an entertainer, where her energy level is a huge plus, and my middle one is pursuing a hands-on degree in aviation. My youngest was a national level gymnast, where energy is crucial. But we need to survive until then. We need to raise them to use their energy levels to their fullest, to be assets instead of hindrances. Why is it hard to parent our high energy kids? Many of us are lacking support, need more tools in our toolbox, and are exhausted ourselves and have feelings of guilt. Knowing who to trust for advice is hard. Action is better than perfection. It's hard to raise our high energy kids because society puts a lot of pressure on us to be the perfect parents or feel like we need to be. You have my permission not to be perfect. If you only take one thing away from this talk today, I want you to take away this. It only gets harder as they get older. Their screams will only get louder and more. If you do not make some changes now, it only gets more difficult. For example, the crying baby. As your kids get older, you can start to ignore that crying baby. But could you when your kids were babies? Probably not. Now those cries appear small. So imagine the screams your kids may have later. Imagine what things will look like when your kids are high energy teens. Most kids are craving structure and order in their lives. What if instead of getting frustrated with your kids touching everything, you could have them do a simple activity that keeps them engaged? Things have gotten even harder as a parent with social media. What are people really posting on social media? What would you think if I posted this photo on social media? It was our holiday photo we sent out to family and friends the holidays right after we adopted our youngest. He was home for 2 months when we took this photo. Looks like a happy family, right? Things look like they're going along pretty well. He looks like he's fitting right in. Well, the truth is, my middle child wanted me to send him back, was upset with me for leaving him to go to China. And I then promised him I would never leave again. But then my youngest wound up in the PICU for 10 days, and I was gone almost the whole time. My kids were bouncing off the walls from my in-laws watching them and not keeping up with their routines. And when the youngest got mad, he would bang his head on the floor and scream at the top of his lungs. But we got a pretty good photo for the holiday card, didn't we? No one is posting meltdowns on social media, nor should they. But social media is not the reality of most people's lives. When scrolling through your feed, it's easy to start to think everyone is always having fun and always on vacation. It is so easy to get caught up in playing the comparisons and thinking how perfect everyone's lives are. The truth is, we just do not know. But if we aim to better ourselves in our situations, that is the best we can do. When talking to my best friend after a vacation, I used to ask, do you want the Facebook version or the real version? Look at the positives in your life, what is real, and what we want more of. When we have higher energy kids, it can make it difficult to do things, whether that is in your home or when you take your kids out somewhere. Going out to dinner may be difficult, and playdates need to be supervised. You may be here thinking the reason your kids are bouncing off the walls may be your fault. Did you do something during pregnancy? Is it your parenting style? You may feel feelings of guilt or embarrassment. Maybe you feel your parenting style is being judged by your friends and relatives. Some of the issue comes from societal pressures. Kids have a harder time being kids, and being high energy is even harder these days. The fact that you are here says you want to make a change. We are going to get there. Let's learn how to not apologize for your kids or blame yourself and to have more family fun. You might also feel all alone. You may not feel the support of your significant other. A lot of times, this causes a lot of stress on your family. If you are not feeling confident in your abilities, that stress can pour over into your other relationships, your marriage, with your mom, your siblings, etc. My sister's kids are really high energy. It has affected our relationship because she's always yelling. My husband does not want to babysit them because he is not sure what to do with them. Things would be easier for everyone if they had a set routine. How does it feel when you leave your kids with a sitter? Can you even leave them with a sitter? I personally would just avoid it unless it was totally necessary. And I remember when I was a babysitter and a high energy kid tried to lock me in a closet. And it was my high school English teacher's son. Now, as a parent, I can imagine her embarrassment. I will show you how to have a plan to establish routines and a plan to explain your children's needs to family and others without apologizing for your kids' behaviors. High energy is not bad, it just needs some planning. My systems will also build and strengthen your relationship with your kids. Isn't that what we want? Other programs that focus on control and timeouts decrease your children's trust. Activities and time-ins will be our system. I'll never forget the day I had to go pick up one of my children from a party early because he was bouncing off the walls. Who do you turn to that really understands? Not just someone to vent to, someone who has ideas. You can't listen and get advice from those with naturally calm kids. Nope, not the same. And from experience, there is no way for them to get it, even if they try. My nieces were the type of kids who would put themselves down for a nap. My brother-in-law just could never understand my daughter's energy levels. He used to say she had one volume, loud. We were just on total opposite ends of the parenting spectrum. One of my favorite sayings is, a goal is just a dream without a plan. We can want things to be different, but we need to put in some work with a plan to make it happen. So how will we get there with our high energy kids so you can breathe a little easier and enjoy your family? So why do you want to change? Is the chaos becoming more of an issue? Is it causing stress in your life, causing issues in your marriage? Are your kids not invited to play dates? Maybe relatives won't babysit. Using more brain space, worrying, and getting harder to hold your job? If you're a stay-at-home parent, does your significant other ask what you do all day? Maybe you feel like you have failed. You have so much guilt that you are not sure if you are doing the right thing. Change is also scary. How do you know you are taking the right approach? What if it fails? What if your family tells you you are wrong? Just pick a simple change, don't change all at once, and you will have much more success and also buy-in from your kids. My strategies help you have less stress when you are out with your kids and set everyone up for success. Hopefully you can go out to dinner with the kids or leave them with the sitter without worry and explain your kids better to others. So what is the plan to get out of the chaos and achieve your goal of a calm household? We are going to make two simple changes. Activities. We are going to increase the correct activities in your kids' days to get the energy out and activities to help them calm down. And we are going to build consistent routines so they feel more secure and have less meltdowns. Step-by-step guidance is included. So what are these activities we are going to build into the day? They are sensory activities. What is sensory? The definition of sensory is something that has to do with the senses. The traditional senses are sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. But there are other senses we use for sensory diets. What types of sensations are we talking about? These are all the different types of sensations our bodies process. Each one can be either alerting or calming, and it's different for everyone. Occupational therapists often refer to sensory activities throughout the day as a sensory diet. While all these sensations can be used in our sensory diet, we focus on the strongest calming sensations: deep pressure, proprioception, and movement. Deep pressure and proprioception are extremely calming senses. You can understand how deep pressure is calming. It is that calming feeling when you have a massage. And have you ever had a runner's high? The pounding into your joints is the calming result of proprioception. Our high energy kids usually need a lot more of these inputs than the typical kids. They are described as sensory seeking. So we are talking about getting more running, jumping, crashing into their diets and into their day. These activities help everyone stay at their optimal levels all day. When a person, adults included, gets out of whack, that is when there are issues. How do you as an adult reduce stress? A massage? The beach? I like my candle scents. What about going for a run? Have you ever been hangry? A lot of adults refer to this as self-care, but many of them are also sensory inputs. Do you know which activities calm you down, or which ones increase your energy levels? All these activities add up to your sensory diet. Some people, adults and kids alike, are better than others getting their sensory needs met. When kids need our help, we call that a sensory diet. What exactly is a sensory diet? A sensory diet is a program of sensory activities kids perform during the day to ensure they're getting the input their bodies need. Just like a balanced diet of food, a sensory diet is a way to get the correct sensory input into your day. A person cannot survive on potato chips alone. Similarly, a person cannot function with only one type of sensory input. This is important for everyone, including yourself, especially when raising your kids. We will understand what calming is for your kids, and we will learn how to incorporate those into your day. I have set samples and schedules that are in my program that makes it really easy to use. If you've never heard of sensory diets before today, or even if you have, or if you've tried them yourself and they haven't worked, or you are a total beginner, maybe your kids have even been in OT, but you aren't getting the clear guidelines on how to implement this sensory diet, and that is a complaint I really hear too much as a pediatric OT mentor. Sensory diets are effective for addressing many sensory-related behaviors. Just a few reasons for using a sensory diet may include decreasing emotional overreaction, meltdowns, aggression, hyperattention, difficulty with transitions, inattention, sleep issues, and impulsivity. Many kids are not getting enough movement right now. The use of screens is rampant now, even in schools. One reason kids have a hard time sitting still is because your kids are not getting enough sensory input or the right sensory input. They are inundated with much different input than we had as kids. Think about it. We had to turn on the TV and usually watch it in the living room. Computers weren't even laptops most of the time. Who is to blame? Less recess, less PE, screens, school, pressure, testing, too big classrooms, COVID, online school. The list goes on. But overall, it's a big societal issue, and you are not to blame. But we can do something about it. And many are using sensory wrong. They are just throwing these activities out there, but they do not understand the science behind what they are actually doing to the brain. That's why you need my programs and lists. Which sensations you need more of in your day is even more important if your child has sensory processing disorder or attention deficit disorder. Any other issues that make sensory processing input difficult. We can get the proper sensory input into your kid's day. If you're confused on how to do this, that's okay. Even newer OTs get confused, and that is why I have built simple templates. Let's talk about the second thing I believe is important to a calm household. The Achieve Calm Blueprint is a two-part system, but even if you only complete a small part of it, your household will benefit. Schedules and routines. Kids love structure. Predictability makes the world make much more sense for them. And if we have a predictable schedule for them, they are happier. We can more easily get input into their day, and this usually equates to more calm. How often do you have a long list of things to do and have all day to do them, but get few of them done? But if you have a plan, you will accomplish so much more and feel good while doing it. There is something magical about crossing things off a list. What are your routines like in your home? Do you love routines and schedules or do you hate them? How can we make them work for everyone in your house? Does your child do better at school or daycare? Does he have a very routine teacher? School is routine by default, and many children can hold it together there, and they fall apart when they get home. Some think this is about the kids feeling safe at home, but it also is about the routine inherently built into school. The routine is posted on the board. There are sometimes even bells to announce changes of activities. Lunch is at the same time every day, etc., etc. So we can use this at home to avoid meltdowns. Kids love knowing what to expect. When my youngest was 3, I used to kid, if I could load the dishwasher at 10:02 every day, that would be consistent enough schedule for my child. Visuals help most kids, so building a picture schedule when they are really young helps, and lists when they are older. What if your children knew the schedule and let you cook dinner without asking 300 times a day for a snack? For transitions from task to task, we use things like music and timers to make the changes easier. So some of the benefits of schedules. It removes a emotional response. I used to tell my kids that go argue with the list. Makes transitions easier, minimizes meltdowns, increases flexibility. Believe it or not, it teaches them when things change that you can change, and educates them on time lapse and sets up healthy habits for kids. So why does this work? High energy kids may have a hard time with changes and transitions. This can be as simple as leaving the playground, getting ready for bed, when dad gets home, changes in routines, etc. But this can also carry over to times of change. Back to school, Christmas break, even vacations. Anytime the routine is affected, it's important to have a way to prepare our high energy kids for these transitions. In the book, Who Moved My Cheese, the main point is things constantly change, so we must adapt. We can help our children with these changes through sensory preparation and schedules. Many of the behaviors that drive you crazy can be stopped before they happen with these techniques. For example, if we are taking a long road trip and expect to drive 7 hours straight, that is a recipe for disaster. But plan ahead, and finding a playground halfway through for a picnic lunch can make the day so much more enjoyable. After we understand our family and needs, we will use our bag of tricks in our day. This helps you feel in control. Most people want to feel in control. Belief in one's ability to exert control over the environment and to produce desired results is essential for an individual's well-being. It has been repeatedly argued that the perception of control is not only desirable, but it's likely a physiological and biological necessity. Feeling out of control leads to a fight or flight response, which makes dealing with challenging situations difficult. You know that feeling. You start to sweat. You start to feel an edge. You wonder if others are watching, which can lead to yelling or even your own meltdown. When everyone is on edge, things start to break down. Having your bag of tricks of activities to get energy out, calming activities, and a consistent schedule will help you achieve calm in your household. Let me let you in on a secret. The key to avoiding behaviors is not what you do during the behavior. Combined, making a sensory diet and having a consistent schedule will help you achieve a calm household. But there's one more thing you need, and this is to make it fun. One of the biggest mistakes families make with their high energy children is labeling them difficult or strong-willed. Stop apologizing for them. There is nothing wrong with their energy levels. They just need to learn how to put them into appropriate activities. Overall, I don't believe in labels. I believe in working with what we see, those behaviors and challenges. And a big one, I believe in positive parenting and having fun. A big mistake is not having fun. Learning how to discipline or even how to stop a meltdown or tantrum when it occurs is not fun. Building sensory activities into your day is fun. Do you want more family fun? So this is a picture of my youngest, and what I found when he was having a hard time was water play really helped calm him down. So this is him playing in our sink one day, probably around dinner time. Maybe you're saying, what's next? This is great information, but how do we put it all together? How can I give my kids what they need to be happy, healthy, and calmer? Let me tell you how it worked for Sarah. Sarah's daughter Allison was 6 and bouncing off the walls after school, nonstop talking and constant movement in her chair, and she never wanted to get ready for bed. Mom was struggling to make dinner, get homework done, and was truly dreading each day around 5 p.m. Sarah's mom told her the witching hour was unavoidable and she just had to deal with it. Her best friend Julie told her she just didn't understand. She put her kids on their iPads, they ate dinner, and her kids told her when they were tired and ready for bed. Sarah wondered what was wrong with her and her kids. Was it something she did? Why wasn't it that easy for her? Sarah knew she needed some help but didn't know where to start. But she imagined a calmer, better life. After working together, Sarah discovered Allison was not getting enough movement in her after school. Her class had recess early and a lot of academics in the afternoon. And since first grade had the earliest lunchtime, she was starving by pickup. She discovered that movement, especially spinning, really calmed Allison down. Spinning is one of those things you have to be careful with. Some kids, it really calms them down, and sometimes it does the exact opposite. After learning how important a consistent routine was, Mom built an after school routine that looked like this. A quick snack was waiting for her right after school. Then they walked to the park, which happened to have a great spinning tire swing. Allison was then able to sit and play to do her homework while Mom made dinner before moving on to their bedtime routine. Allison was happier because she knew what to expect each day after school, and Mom was happier because the house was calmer. So today you learned the components that are needed to build a calm household with your high energy kids. To review what we have learned today, in order to achieve your goal of a calm household, I've explained how you need 3 things: activities in your child's day to get the energy out and activities to help them calm down. Kids are not getting enough movement and sensory input during the day because many of the factors like increased academics in schools, even preschools and daycare, and increased electronics. Kids need activities to get their energy out, built into the day, and ways for them to calm down. 2, we're going to build consistent routines so they feel more secure and have less meltdowns. And 3, you're going to have more family fun. The Achieve Calm Blueprint walks you through how to go from chaos to calm. And here is what I've learned. Many parents feel overwhelmed, alone, and don't know where to start. You need activities, routines, and family fun to feel energized, happy, and calm, and to have the family life you imagined. Today, I promised to show you how to have a calm household with your high energy kids. But in order to be successful, you need to understand which activities are calming for your child. I am seeing many people just throwing sensory out there. There's more of a science to it than that. And as an OT, I have a neuro background, not a teaching or behavior background. Let me guide you building these activities, routines for your family. I'm not sure why you showed up today. Maybe you're frustrated that your family is not what you imagined. It could be that you're fed up with the chaos in your life. Or maybe you heard all the buzz about how others are having success with sensory and you wanted to see how you can make it work for you. I doubt you are just bored and looking for something to do, as raising high energy kids is always an adventure. So we know that we have chaos in our households and we know that our kids are not getting enough movement. I've showed you that. And I've showed you the quickest way to calm the chaos is to create a sensory diet and routines designed for your child. So how do you create the sensory diet? That is why I created the Achieve Calm Blueprint. So the obvious question is, you have a choice. You can do it the slow way through trial and error by taking some of what I've given you here today, or you can do it much quicker using the Achieve Calm Blueprint. I invite you to join me. Learn to put all the pieces together, build your plan, and be with others who understand, with me, your guide, along the way. You and your family will feel happier and calmer. You will have more family fun. You'll have more tools in your toolbox, and you'll have less chaos in your home. It is the way we handle ourselves when things get challenging. Do we hide in the closet and cry? Been there, done that. Or do we move forward and have a plan? The Achieve Calm Blueprint is an 8-week program. The program starts August 28th with modules released weekly. We are going to make small changes to build your system step by step. The program includes group support in a private Facebook group where I will personally be answering questions and you will have peer support. And for this initial launch, there are live weekly coaching calls where you can ask questions and get support. And I want you to know that I have a 100% money back guarantee. I am personally committed to providing you with the information that makes a positive impact on your family. You'll be getting the online program, which includes the weekly modules. They're designed to quickly help you understand your family's needs, practical suggestions, the Facebook group, and online meetings that have your specific questions answered. What is the investment? Since this is the first time I'm offering a group program for parents, I've worked individually with parents for over 25 years. I have a special introductory price of $497 or 2 payments of $267, both of which include the bonus group calls. So how to join? Decide you want things to change and then join the program. It's that simple. Just click the button below. So who is the Achieve Calm Blueprint for? If you've collected information but want help with simple implementation, you want to meet your kids' sensory needs. You know everything is not about behavior and making your kids just do it. You want strategies to be able to go places without your children becoming overstimulated. You want more calm in your household. You have high energy toddlers, preschoolers, or young elementary school age children. So I'm open and honest and I tell it like it is. And I believe all parents make mistakes. I'm casual and I like parents who want to get on the floor and play. We all get sucked into parental pressures and societal pressures. And my values are passion, respect, learning, compassion, and honesty. So let's talk about some of the myths when it comes to parenting high energy kids. Myth number 1, the 5 p.m. meltdown is unavoidable. Truth. Meltdowns are usually from sensory overload. With understanding and planning, we can avoid them most of the time, or learn to do what to do when it happens. When my kids were young, they spent a lot of time in the bathtub, and later when they were more independent, the shower. Having a structured bedtime routine is also key. Kids love knowing what to expect. Myth number 2, I've tried sensory techniques before, but it's all hype. It doesn't work. Many are using sensory wrong. As I have mentioned, sensory techniques need to be proactive. They need to be worked into your day. It does take effort at first, but the rewards are many. And what is calming or alerting for your child needs to be figured out. Myth number 3, I've tried parenting programs before and they don't tell you what to do and they're all theory and not practical. Why are you here? Why are you still not happy and enjoying your kids? The Achieve Calm Blueprint is about action. OTs are about action, and we spend time with ideas. This program is a course, but also Q&A calls and a Facebook group. For the first group, we're building the program together based on your specific needs. Myth number 4, this will take way too much time and effort. I'm already overwhelmed. Truth, there's a lot you can do that will not take a lot of time and effort. How much time does a meltdown cost you? Not just in physical time, but emotional time. Do you worry about your kids? So the fact that it's taking a lot of time is a good thing. A lot of time learning theory will help you in the long run. Colin Powell said, a dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. As an OT, I believe in trying one new thing a week. We all want fast results, and it would be amazing to wave our magic wand and make our lives perfect, but we didn't get to this place overnight, and it will take a while to change. Myth number 5, kids just need to outgrow this high energy stage. Some of that is true, but do you have the skills to survive until then? And what is at stake if you don't? So the Achieve Calm Blueprint enrollment closes August 18th. I would love to see you there. Are you ready to have a calm family life? It's not going to be opened again for several months, and when I do open the program again, it is going to be at a significantly higher investment. So let's just imagine what can happen for your family in this coming year. Again, I have a personal money back guarantee that my program will make an impact on your family. If you have any more questions, email me at thevirtualpediatricot@gmail.com or at the button below. Thank you so much for attending. I really, really hope that I can see you inside the program and that we can work on building your calm family life together.